Namaste, my dear brothers and sisters. Love and blessings of the Mother and Sri Aurobindo to all of you from Sri Aurobindo Ashram Delhi branch. I have with me here today Priya Gupta, who is a remarkable woman, a remarkable mother who had given birth to a remarkable boy. And our focus today will be on that boy, Pranav, who was a student of the Mothers International School. But as we look at it, unfortunately, we lost him before he reached 13. That was a big shock for Priya, naturally. But then she has many anecdotes to share with us about that child. And of course, she has come a long way in not only overcoming that shock, but also helping many more going through similar losses. But more of that later. Pranav was as bright as he was noble. And it seems that he was one of those rare persons who have put in enough work in their previous lives into the evolution of their soul to not require a very long life here on this earth in this life. And it seems that the main purpose of his being here was to stimulate Priya's spiritual growth and inspire many more, which he continues to do because soon after he left this world, Priya set up a page on Facebook, Inspirational Pranav. And through that, not only many have been inspired, but as some young people have revealed to her, that some of them gave up the idea of committing suicide after going to that page. So he's not only inspiring people, he's saving lives. He's helping people who have cancer and so on and so forth. And in fact, he continues to do his work for this planet, although he's not here anymore. Now today what I'll do is request Priya to share with you a few anecdotes related to Pranav's life, which particularly are related to his stay at the Mothers International School. Priya, why don't you tell something about that play for which children were being selected for different roles? And Pranav had, because of his illness, for a few years at a stretch, a tube going through his nose through which he was being fed. And then, when the children were being selected for different roles, he requested the teacher to give him the role of an elephant. Why don't you start with that?
So, thank you so much, Bhaiya, for having me here. And yes, uh, Pranav was really unwell at that time, and we would be able to take him to school uh, sometimes. So, this process, they had this SST play, and uh, they were being put in groups, and uh, so he went to his teacher. He had this tube coming out of his nose, and there was his pouches, bags, and all on his body. So he said, "Ma'am, can I get the role of an elephant? I have a trunk right now, so you don't have to put another trunk. So give me that role." And later on, when his ma'am discussed it with me, she said, "Priya, I was so shocked and I was literally in tears because here was a child uh, who was going through so much, but he he was always so enthusiastic and happy, and how he could, could see life in that perspective and in that light." And she said, I couldn't speak for a moment. Yeah, and everybody was amazed.
Don't took his illness so lightly and retained a sense of humor. The way, I mean, once he also offered, you told about the skeleton being taught through him.
Yeah. So there was this science class going on, and they were talking about digestive system. And I know all these things because I would take him to the school and I would sit outside the class just in case of any emergencies. I had to be available. So there was this digestive. They were talking about the digestive system, and he said, "Ma'am, you know, anytime if you want, I can take off my shirt, because he had become so weak that everybody will be able to see my ball and socket joint. And oh, bile juice, I can just open my tubes and they can see how the bile juice comes out of the body, because they had this tube inserted from where the juices, bile juices, will come out of the body. So he said, ma'am, I can give the practical demonstration of each and everything, so just allow me. Here was the child who wanted to make the best of everything that was going on in his life.
He could not eat ice creams for a long time, for years. But then he always asked his mother to bring ice creams for his friends. The same way, before an exam, children pray. Children pray so that they do well. He also prayed, but not for himself. He prayed for others because you can tell what he told you, why he was praying for the other children.
So, he would say, he would be always guiding friends. And one of his friends, she said, I get scolded if I don't get good marks in class. So my mama gets really upset, especially in maths. So he would sit with her during the recess and he would teach her. And then people would always, his friends would always call up also. That time we didn't have mobiles, but they would call up on the landline and ask him. So I was like, Pranav, why don't you study on your own? You spend so much time with your friends telling them. And so he said, no, Mama, I will anyway get good marks, because I know I'll get it. But if everyone gets good marks, how happy our class will be, and how fulfilling, how, you can't even imagine the atmosphere in the class. And the parents, they get upset with their children. So at least the children will not have that stress in their lives. So, and it will make everyone so happy. So
And
he,
you won't anyway get upset no matter how he does in the exam. So he was more worried that his children, his friends should not get scolded.
yeah, absolutely. So he said half a mark less will not matter anything to me, but for them it will. So, and that was in class two. He started teaching a girl, a friend in class two itself, mathematics. And later on, that child was doing very well in maths. And she still remembers how that had happened.
And children have these misunderstandings in school, and they had that sort of misunderstanding with one boy, and everybody thought that he was at fault. He was not a child worth maintaining a relationship with. So they decided to stop talking to him. What was Pranav's response?
Yeah, I remember Pranav was not going to the school at that time, and his friends would come over and they would share the incidents that were happening in the school. So he was living his life through his friends, his school life through his friends. So one day they came and they said that, that particular child in the class who was a part of their group has started misbehaving a lot and has become very arrogant. So we have decided that we will not talk to that child, and he's no more a part of our group. So he said, no, then what is the difference between him and us? It's okay if he has become arrogant. That doesn't make him a bad person. We have to kill his arrogance. We don't have to kill him. So I was like, the use of words kill his arrogance and not kill the person. You know, it was so strong and so profound that we should not kill the person. We should not stay away from the person. He should still be a part of us. But slowly we have to try to correct his path. And that was coming from a 10-year-old at that time. And I was like taken aback. So, and yes, that child became a part of their group ultimately. He said, no, this is not done. I can't come to the school, but now you have to do this. So, this is not done.
Okay, why don't you tell something about that incident in which he made you apologize to a waiter in a restaurant?
Yeah. So, that was actually in the hospital. So, Pranav was admitted in the hospital, and we would order. So, his problem was like whenever he had this intestinal issue, he would be on NPO for some time. He would be only on fluids, intravenous fluids, and then he would be given sips of water and then some liquid, and that too measured. So 30 ml or something like that. So for a child who has not had anything for almost 4 days, 5 days, that 30 ml he would wait for it, and that was also given too early. So he wanted to have some juice. So we ordered it from the, actually, it was a masala tea. We ordered it from the cafe that was downstairs at the Max Hospital. And the waiter took a lot of time to get that masala tea. And he was eagerly waiting for it because he was hungry, he was exhausted, and he was looking for it. And that waiter came, took a long time to come. So as a mother, I got upset with the waiter. I said, "Ki, Bhaiya, aap itni der se kyun aaye ho? Why have you taken so long?" And he had to cater to other patients also. So he left the masala tea and then he went. And then Pranav said, "Mama, I'm not having this." I said, "But why?" So because it's late, that's why. Are you angry? So he said, "No." I said, "Are you angry with Bhaiya? So who has delivered this because he got late?" So he said, "No, Mama, I'm angry with you." I said, "What did I do wrong? Why are you not having it?" Because as a mother, I wanted to feed my child as early as possible. So he said, "Mama, the way you spoke to Bhaiya, I did not like it." "Mama, you don't understand his position. He had to cater to so many patients, and that is the reason he got late. He doesn't know that I'm desperate. And the way you interacted with him, I did not like it. So I will not have it till you say sorry to Bhaiya." So, and even I felt that, yeah, I should not have been so upset, or the tonality in my voice was not what it should be. So we called him. I apologized to him. He apologized to Bhaiya that, Bhaiya. And that waiter, 2, 3 years later, when I went again after I lost Pranav, he said, "I had never got this kind of respect and love from anybody ever in my life." And he still remembers that. He said, that child was a sadhu Mahatma, that was a saint, because nobody ever has done that to me. And yes, it was only after I apologized that he had that masala tea. And such incidents actually helped me grow in my life. It helped me to reflect upon and correct myself so many times. So many times it has happened. So,
Thank you, Priya, for sharing all these inspiring anecdotes. And I'm sure through this video, many more would be inspired by Pranav. And we'll have you again to
thank
share some more.
thank
Thank
you.
you so much.
Thank you. Thank you.